You ever smelled a lie? I have. It's not what people think, not sweat, not fear, something else, like stale perfume, like the lingering scent of someone else's cologne on your wife's skin when she swears she was just out with the girls. That smell hit me the second Emily walked through the door last Wednesday. She was late, too late, the kind of late where no excuse sounds right. The dogs were restless, pacing near the entrance like they sensed something off. I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed, watching her kick off her heels like she was in some romantic comedy. "Oh my God, what a day!" she sighed, tossing her purse onto the couch. "I swear, if Madison keeps talking about her juice cleanse, I'm going to— What?" She caught me staring. I did not answer, just tilted my head, inhaling slowly. There it was, that lice smell. She still had makeup on, but not the way she wore it in the morning. Smudged eyeliner, lips slightly swollen. Her blouse had the faintest wrinkle on the shoulder. Like someone's hand had rested there too long. The details were microscopic, but together they painted a goddamn crime scene. "You're staring at me like I have two heads." She laughed nervously, opening the fridge. "What?" I did not blink. "Where were you?" She barely hesitated. "Told you dinner with the girls?" That was mistake number one. I already knew she was not with them. I had checked. Madison had posted a story 2 hours ago. Wine glasses clinking, all of them laughing. "No, Emily." "Mistake number 2? She said it too fast." No sigh, no pause, no pretending to recall details. Just a preloaded response fired off like a malfunctioning chatbot. I did not push, not yet. Instead, I walked past her, kissed her on the cheek, and whispered, "You smell different." And just like that, her body stiffened, busted. That was the moment I knew. Now all I needed was proof that I did not sleep that night. I lay next to her, staring at the ceiling, listening to the slow, even rhythm of her breathing. Emily slept like a woman with nothing to hide. Or maybe she had just gotten so good at lying that even her body believed it. At 3:27 am, I rolled onto my side and looked at her. Her face was peaceful in the dim light, lips slightly parted, dark hair spilling over the pillow. She looked innocent, like the woman I married. But I knew better now. I reached for my phone. The moment she walked through that door, my instincts had been screaming. So before I let my anger drive me into a mistake, I needed facts, cold, hard proof. And if Emily thought she was smarter than me, she was about to learn otherwise. First, I scrolled through her social media. Nothing unusual. The same curated life. A couple of posts about work, a throwback picture of us from 2 years ago. Strategic enough to keep up appearances. Then I checked her friends' pages, searching for tags, mentions, anything. But Emily was careful, too careful. So I went deeper. The phone bill took me 10 minutes to log into our account. The second I pulled up her call history, my stomach twisted into a knot so tight I thought I might vomit. A number I did not recognize. Over and over, late at night, early mornings, even while she was at work. And then text logs, pages of them. I copied the number and ran a reverse search. The result hit me like a sledgehammer. Mark Bennett, a guy from her office, married, 2 kids, the kind of guy who shook your hand too hard and called you buddy like he meant it. I had met him once at a company Christmas party, and he had slapped me on the back while Emily laughed at some joke he made. Back then, I had thought nothing of it. I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palms. I needed to see the messages. Emily's phone was on her nightstand inches from her hand. If I reached for it now, and she woke up, everything would be over before I had my answers. But I could not wait. I took a deep breath. Slowly, carefully, I slid my hand across the bed, inching toward her phone. My fingertips brushed the edge of it. Then Emily shifted in her sleep, rolling onto her side. I froze. My heart pounded against my ribs. Every muscle locked in place. Then, after a moment, her breathing deepened again. I exhaled through my nose, steadied myself, and picked up the phone. The screen was locked. But I knew her passcode. I typed it in. And what I saw next made my entire world collapse. Her texts with Mark were not just casual. They were not just flirty. They were intimate, familiar, the kind of messages you send to someone who knows you in ways no one else should. I scrolled through the conversation, my hands trembling, my vision blurring at the edges. My pulse pounded in my ears as I read each message, each confession, each stolen moment. Emily, I can still feel your hands on me. Mark, that's because I did not want to let go. Emily, last night was dangerous. Mark, dangerous is what makes it good. When can I see you again? Emily, tomorrow. Same place. Same time. I gritted my teeth so hard my jaw ached. That was not even the worst part. She had sent him pictures, private pictures, pictures of herself in the very bed where she was sleeping next to me. A sharp, cold fury settled into my bones. I had given this woman everything, my time, my loyalty, my trust, and she had been throwing it all away for months, sneaking off, lying to my face, making me feel crazy for suspecting anything. But I was not crazy. I was right. I wanted to shake her awake, shove the phone in her face, demand answers. But no, that was what she expected. She thought I would react like an idiot, blow up, give her a chance to cry, to twist the story, to make me the villain. Not this time. I closed the messages, set the phone back exactly where it was, and rolled onto my back. My mind was already working. They were meeting tomorrow. Same place. Same time. Perfect. I was not going to lose my temper. I was not going to scream. I was going to plan. And when I was done, they would both regret ever thinking I was a fool that I barely slept. My body was still, but my mind was burning. Racing through every possible scenario, every way I could make them pay. By the time the sun crept through the blinds, I already had my plan. Emily stirred beside me, stretching with a soft sigh. I turned my head to look at her, forcing my face into something neutral, something that would not betray the storm inside me. Morning, she murmured, eyes still heavy with sleep. I brushed a strand of hair from her face, studying her. She looked so normal, so comfortable in the lie she had built. It made me sick. Morning, I said, my voice even. She rolled onto her side, propping her head up on her hand. You okay? You look tired. I almost laughed. I look tired. Yeah, well, catching your wife planning another night with her lover will do that to a man. But I just smiled. Did not sleep great. Work stuff. She gave me a small, understanding nod. Like she actually cared. Then she swung her legs over the side of the bed and stood up, stretching again. I watched her watch the way she moved so freely, so confidently. Like she was not walking around with a loaded gun of secrets pointed straight at my head. She had no idea. I've got a long day, she said, heading toward the bathroom, meeting with clients, then dinner with the girls again. The boldness of it nearly made me choke. She was not even trying to come up with a new excuse. She really thought I was that blind. That week, I got out of bed, moving slowly, deliberately. Busy day, huh? She paused at the bathroom door, flashing me a quick smile. Yeah, but I'll make it up to you this weekend. Promise. That was rich. I smiled back, looking forward to it. She disappeared into the bathroom. And the second I heard the shower start, I moved phase 1. I walked to the kitchen, pulled out my phone and made a call. Hello? The voice on the other end was groggy, confused. It was his wife. Hey, sorry to call so early, I said, keeping my tone calm, controlled. This is going to sound insane. But I think you need to hear something. She was silent for a moment. Then cautiously, who is this? I took a deep breath. My name is Ryan. I think your husband is having an affair with my wife. The silence stretched, then a sharp inhale. Would I have proof? I said, texts, calls, everything. I do not know how you want to handle this. But they re-meeting tonight. Same hotel, same time? If you want to see for yourself, I trailed off, letting the words sink in. When she finally spoke again, her voice was tight, controlled, furious. Text me the details. I smiled. "Will do." I hung up and immediately sent her everything she needed. The time, the hotel, the room number, phase 2. Emily was still in the shower when I pulled a small bottle from the cabinet, a diuretic, nothing dangerous, nothing extreme, just enough to make sure her little romantic evening would be interrupted. I poured a glass of her favorite wine and added a few drops, swirled it around. By the time she got out of the shower, towel wrapped around her body, face fresh and glowing. "It was waiting for her. Thought you could use this before your long day," I said, handing it to her. She smiled, pressing a quick kiss to my cheek. "You're sweet." I watched as she took a sip. Then another. I could barely contain my anticipation. By the time she walked out that door, heading straight into her own destruction, I was already picturing how it would all unfold her, him, his wife, and me. I'd be watching it all burn. Emily left the house at exactly 6:15 p.m. She had taken her time getting ready, slipping into a black dress that I had not seen in years. Probably because she never bothered wearing it for me. She had spent an extra 20 minutes on her hair, perfecting every strand, making sure she looked just right for him. I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed, watching as she checked her reflection in the hallway mirror. She did not see me watching, or maybe she did not care. "Do not wait up," she said casually, grabbing her purse. "Dinner might run late." I bit back a smirk. "Oh, I would not." She kissed me on the cheek. Like I was some clueless husband who would spend the night on the couch, believing her lies, and walked out the door. I did not move until I heard her car pull out of the driveway. Then finally I exhaled. Showtime. I arrived at the hotel before Emily and Mark. I wanted to be ahead of the game, to have everything in place before the fireworks began. I parked 2 blocks away, out of sight, and walked through the lobby like I belonged there. No hesitation, no second guessing. Confidence is the best disguise. I had already scoped the place out earlier that day, memorizing the layout, noting the best vantage points. I was not just here to watch. I was here to orchestrate. I made my way up to the second floor and found their room. 204. The door was closed, the hallway empty, but I knew they would be here soon. I had given Mark's wife all the details. She was on her way too. But before she arrived, I had one last thing to do. I pulled out my phone and sent Emily a text. "Me, hope you're having fun." It took exactly 34 seconds for her to respond. "Emily, at dinner now, miss you." I almost laughed. At dinner, really? I was standing outside the very hotel room she was about to enter, and she was still lying. No hesitation, no guilt, just smooth, effortless deception. I leaned against the wall, waiting. I wanted to see her face when it all came crashing down. 10 minutes later, the elevator doors opened, and they stepped out. Emily and Mark. I forced myself to stay calm, to breathe evenly. This was not the time to get emotional. Emily was laughing at something he said, her hand lightly touching his arm. Familiar. Comfortable. It was not a first-time fling. No, this had been going on long enough for her to act like this was normal. Like he was hers. Mark glanced around. Paranoid. But Emily, she was not even trying to hide it. She looked confident, excited. I could see it in her eyes. The anticipation. The thrill of sneaking around. She thought she had gotten away with it. They reached room 204. Mark pulled out the keycard, swiped it, and pushed the door open. Emily gave one last glance down the hall right past me. She did not even see me. She stepped inside. Mark followed. The door clicked shut. I checked my watch. Any minute now. I did not have to wait long. Mark's wife arrived exactly 4 minutes later. She stepped out of the elevator like a storm in human form. Fast, focused, furious. Her face was tight. Her fists clenched at her sides. She saw me instantly, her eyes locking onto mine. I nodded toward the door. 204. I said they were inside. She did not hesitate. She marched forward, hand already raised, and pounded on the door. I leaned back against the wall, waiting for the explosion. From inside, I heard muffled voices. Then Emily's laugh. Then silence. Pause. A hesitation. Panic. Mark's wife knocked again, harder than the best part. Emily's voice. Slightly nervous. Who is it? Mark's wife did not answer. She just pounded again. Relentless. Unstoppable. Then I heard something else. Emily whispering. Mark, do something. But Mark, he was frozen. Cowardly. He knew exactly who was outside that door. The silence stretched. Then Emily gasped. The diuretic had kicked in. Perfect timing. The sound of frantic movement. The rustling of fabric. I could picture it so clearly. Emily realizing she needed to get to the bathroom, but she could not because she was trapped. Mark's wife knocked one last time. And then finally Emily broke. I heard her footsteps racing across the room. The bathroom door slammed. Mark's wife turned to me. Her eyes filled with pure, righteous rage. Open the door. I said simply, and she did. The night had only just begun. The second the door swung open, everything unraveled. Mark stood there frozen. His face was the perfect mix of shock and horror. His brain scrambling to process how the hell his wife had just walked into his little fantasy. He was caught, trapped, no escape. His wife stepped inside like she owned the place. Her heels clicking against the cheap hotel carpet. Her entire body radiating fury. Well, she said, voice sharp as glass. Is this the part where you explain? Or should I start guessing? Mark opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked like a deer caught in headlights, eyes darting between me, his wife, and the partially open bathroom door where Emily had locked herself in. Oh yeah, I had not forgotten about her. The moment I had heard her feet slap against the floor, sprinting to the bathroom, I knew she was in hell. The diuretic had done its job. Whatever romantic evening she had planned had just turned into a desperate, humiliating mess. Trapped in a bathroom while her entire world burned outside. Mark's wife turned her gaze to me. And you? I leaned casually against the wall, arms crossed. I'm just here to enjoy the show. She let out a bitter laugh. Glad someone's having fun. Then she turned back to Mark. You know what's crazy? She asked, stepping closer. Her voice deceptively soft. I actually felt bad for you. Thought you were working so hard. So stressed. Thought maybe we just needed more time together. She let out a breathless laugh. Turns out you had all the time in the world. Just not for me. Mark flinched at her words. Babe, please. Do not call me that. Her voice was sharp. Final. Mark swallowed his Adam's apple, bobbing. Pathetic. The silence was heavy. Then the bathroom door creaked open. Every head turned. Emily stood in the doorway, her face pale, hair slightly damp with sweat. Her hands gripped the doorframe like she was using it to stay upright. I knew exactly what had happened in there. She had barely made it. Her eyes flickered to me. And for the first time all night, I saw fear. Not just shock. Not just guilt. Fear. I smiled. Emily. I said, my voice calm, almost amused. You looking unwell. Her jaw tightened, but she did not respond. Her eyes darted to Mark, who looked just as sick as she did. Then to Mark's wife, who was still staring at her like she was a cockroach on the floor. Then finally Emily looked at me. Her lips parted. I saw the lie forming before she even spoke. Ryan, I can explain. I laughed. Actually, we laughed. Oh, I'd love to hear it. I gestured to the room to Mark, to the literal hotel bathroom she had just run into to relieve herself like a desperate idiot. This should be good. Emily's face burned red. She was caught. Exposed. Every excuse. Every manipulation she had used on me over the years was useless now. There was no way out. No charming her way back. Mark's wife crossed her arms. Yeah, Emily, please explain. Emily's hands clenched into fists. Her eyes flicked between all of us, calculating, trying to find an angle and escape route. Then she made the dumbest move of all. She turned to me and said, "You did this. Did not you?" Mark's wife let out a shocked laugh. "Oh my God!" Emily stepped toward me. "You set this up. You called her. You." I raised a hand. "Stop." Emily froze. I tilted my head, studying her like she was some kind of science experiment gone wrong. "Let me get this straight," I said. "You sneak around behind my back for months. Lie to me. Humiliate me. You tell me you were going to dinner with the girls while you were actually coming here to." I trailed off, my voice deliberately mocking to what Emily have a deep, emotional conversation. Her jaw tightened. "Ryan." And now I cut her off. "Now that you were caught, your first instinct is to blame me." Emily's mouth opened, then closed. "Got her." Mark looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. Mark's wife, on the other hand, was thriving. "You really are a piece of work," she said to Emily. Emily whirled on, her eyes flashing. "Oh, and what about you? What kind of wife does not even notice her husband is cheating? Maybe if you slapped, the sound cracked through the air like a gunshot." Emily's head snapped to the side. Her eyes went wide, her cheek already burning red from the impact. Mark's wife had slapped her hard. The entire room went dead silent. Mark's wife exhaled, shaking out her hand like Emily's face had actually hurt her. Then she stepped back, her expression eerily calm. "I'm done," she said simply. "I do not need to hear anything else." She turned to Mark, shaking her head. "You disgust me." Then to Emily, "I hope you rot." With that, she walked out. Mark chased after her. "Wait, babe, please." The door slammed behind them. And then it was just us. Emily and me. She touched her cheek, still stunned. Her eyes met mine. Her bravado completely gone. I smiled. That went well. She stared at me like I was a stranger. Like she was only just realizing what I was capable of. I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "We redone, Emily?" She swallowed. "Ryan." "No," I held up a hand. "Save it." She flinched. I took a deep breath. Exhaled. Then I turned to leave. But before I walked out the door, I paused, looked over my shoulder. "Oh, and Emily," I smiled. "Enjoy the rest of your night." And then I left her there. Alone. Exactly where she deserved to be. I walked out of that hotel room feeling lighter than I had in months. Maybe even years. The moment the door clicked shut behind me, it was like the weight of every lie, every betrayal, every bullish *T excuse Emily had ever fed me was finally off my shoulders. I did not need to yell. I did not need to beg her for answers. I had given her the perfect ending. She had walked into that hotel room thinking she was in control, thinking she was untouchable. She had walked out of that bathroom or wreck, humiliated, exposed, and slapped across the face. And now she was alone. But I was not done. I stepped into the elevator, watching the floors tick down. My heart steady, calm. I had expected to feel angrier. I had expected some kind of emotional storm to hit me now that it was over. But all I felt was clarity. The doors opened to the lobby. And that's when I saw Mark's wife. She was standing just outside the hotel entrance. Arms crossed, staring into the distance like she was trying to decide whether to scream or cry. Her hands were still trembling slightly. Her breath uneven. I walked up beside her. She glanced at me. Then she let out a small bitter laugh. "Hell of a night, huh?" I smirked. Not exactly how I thought my Thursday was gonna go. She shook her head, running a hand through her hair. "I still see and not believe it." She turned to face me fully. "I mean, I knew something was off. But this? I thought we were happy." I scoffed. "Yeah, me too." She sighed, looking up at the night sky. "What now?" I shrugged. "Divorce, probably." She snorted. "Yeah, same." For a second, we just stood there. Two strangers bound together by mutual destruction. Then she turned to me with a sharp look. Was the diuretic your idea? I grinned. Maybe she actually laughed. A real, genuine laugh. Urea menace. I shrugged. She deserved it. She smirked. Yeah, she really did. Then she pulled out her phone, tapped a few things, and a moment later, Mark's number lit up on my screen. I raised an eyebrow. If you ever need to get back at him again, she said, give me a call. I chuckled, shaking my head. Not sure I'll need to. I think tonight ruined his life enough. She smirked. Good. Then she turned and walked away, disappearing into the city lights. I stood there for a moment, breathing in the cold night air, feeling the world shift beneath my feet. Then I headed home. The house felt different when I walked in. Empty, quiet, not just because Emily was not there, but because she would never be here the same way again. I stepped into the kitchen, grabbing a glass and pouring myself a drink. Then I pulled out my phone. Emily had called me twice, left a voicemail, sent a text, Emily Ryan, we need to talk, please come back. I stared at the message. Unbelievable. She still thought she had a chance to fix this, to talk her way out of it. I took a sip of my drink, then started typing me. I'm not coming back ever. I hit send. A minute passed. Then 3 dots appeared. She was typing. I set my phone down. I did not care what she had to say, not anymore. Because for the first time in a long time, I was freed. That I sat in my kitchen, staring at my phone as the 3 little dots flickered on and off. Emily was typing, then stopping, then typing again. I could picture her in that hotel room, pacing, desperate to find the right words, desperate to say something that would undo everything. She had spent our entire relationship playing the perfect wife, carefully crafting every lie, controlling every narrative. And for a long time, I had let her. But now she had lost control. My phone vibrated. Emily Ryan, please. I swear, it's not what it looks like. I can explain. I actually laughed. Not what it looks like. That was the best she could do. I took another sip of my drink, shaking my head. Part of me was almost impressed, even with her entire world crumbling. She still thought she could gaslight me into believing my own eyes. Then another text, Emily, can we please just talk face to face? I need to see you. I leaned back in my chair, considering it. Would she cry? Of course. Would she beg? Probably. Would she blame me for ruining her life? Without a doubt. But why should I give her the satisfaction of a conversation? I did not know her a damn thing. Still, something inside me was not done yet. I wanted to see her break. So I sent one final text. Me, I'll be home all night. Come by if you want. Then I set my phone down and waited. It took her exactly 43 minutes to show up. I heard her car pull into the driveway, tires crunching against the pavement. I did not move. I just sat there, sipping my drink, waiting. The front door opened. She still had a key. I let her step inside before I spoke. You know, I said, not even bothering to look up. Most people knock. She froze. I could feel her staring at me, trying to gauge my mood, trying to decide whether to play the victim or the seductress. I was not giving her the chance to be either. Slowly, I turned my head. Emily looked like a wreck. Her makeup was smudged. Her hair a mess. She had changed out of the dress she had worn to the hotel. But she could not change the way her guilt clung to her like a second skin. For the first time in our marriage, she was the vulnerable one. I let the silence stretch. Let her squirm under my gaze. Then finally she spoke. Ryan, her voice cracked. I messed up. I raised an eyebrow. Which time she flinched. Please, can we just sit down? Talk like adults. I laughed like adults. I leaned forward, placing my glass on the table. Emily, you ran off to a hotel to screw another man and got caught hiding in a bathroom like a scared little kid. That's not what adults do. Her lip trembled. Good. I was not going to make this easy for her. She took a shaky breath. I did not mean for this to happen. I tilted my head. Huh. So what happened then? You tripped and fell onto Mark. Her face burned red. It was not serious. Oh, so you just casually destroyed our marriage? I clapped my hands together. Great. That makes it so much better. She stepped closer. Ryan, I love you. I let out a slow exhale, looking at her like she was something I did not recognize. You do not love me, I said, my voice calm steady. You love lying to me. Tears welled in her eyes. I do. I made a mistake. But that does not mean I do not love you. I shook my head. Emily, you did not just make a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to buy milk. You made choices over and over again. She sniffled, wiping at her face. I can be better. I swear. I'll do anything. I stared at her for a long moment. Let her believe just for a second that she had a chance. Then I smiled. Anything? I asked. She nodded so fast. Anything. I leaned back in my chair. All right. Then pack your bags. Her face collapsed. What? You said you'd do anything. I gestured toward the stairs. So do it. Get out. Her mouth opened and closed, like her brain could not fully process what I was saying. Then she lunged toward me, dropping to her knees, grabbing my hands. Ryan, please. She sobbed. Please do not do this. I see not lose you. I looked down at her. This woman who had spent months lying, cheating, humiliating me, begging at my feet. And you know what? I felt nothing. I pulled my hands away, standing up. You lost me a long time ago. Her breath hitched. And then finally she knew this was over for good. Emily did not move. She stayed there on her knees, tears streaming down her face, hands shaking as they hovered between us like she was still reaching for something that no longer existed. I should have felt something. Pity, maybe sadness. But I did not. She had spent months destroying us piece by piece, lying with a straight face, sneaking around, making me feel crazy for suspecting anything. She had made her choices. And now she was on the floor, exactly where she belonged. I stepped around her like she was nothing more than a piece of furniture in my way. I meant what I said. Pack your things and go. She let out a shaky breath, still sitting there like some tragic victim, like I had done something to her. Where am I supposed to go? She whispered. I paused at the kitchen counter, pouring myself another drink. She had the nerve to ask me that. I do not know, I said, taking a sip. Maybe Mark's place? She let out a soft, broken sound. Humiliation. Good. Ryan, I swear. She said, voice hoarse. It was not serious. It was just, I do not even know why I did it. I turned around, leaning against the counter, studying her. You do not know why? She shook her head frantically, eyes pleading. No, I was not thinking. I was stupid. It was just a mistake. I scoffed. Emily, a mistake is sleeping with him once. A mistake is realizing what you did and stopping before it got worse. I set my glass down, stepping closer. But you texted him, called him, planned meetups, lied to me over and over. That's not a mistake. Her breath came out shaky. Then what is it? I stared down at her, letting the silence stretch, letting her really feel it. It's who you are. Her face crumpled. And for the first time all night, I saw genuine fear in her eyes. Not fear of getting caught. Not fear of Mark's wife or the hotel or the embarrassment. Fear of herself. Fear of the truth she had spent so long running from, that she was not some good person who had made a bad choice. She was a selfish, heartless liar who had finally been exposed. And now there was nothing left of her. She wiped at her face, trying to pull herself together. I'll go. Her voice was barely above a whisper. I just need time to pack. I nodded. You've got an hour. Her eyes shot up. Ryan, please. An hour, Emily. Something in my voice must have told her not to argue. Because she just swallowed, blinking rapidly and nodded. Then she stumbled to her feet and walked up the stairs. I watched her go, listened as she moved around the bedroom. The same bedroom where she had sent him pictures, texts, stolen moments of herself that were never meant for me. I drained the rest of my drink and sat back down, letting the silence settle over me. And that's when I realized something. I had spent so much time planning my revenge, waiting for the moment where I would catch her, expose her, ruin her, and I had. But now, sitting here in the house that we had built together, the house she had tainted with her betrayal, I did not feel the victory I thought I would. I just wanted her gone. The house felt heavier than it ever had before. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of fabric upstairs, every reminder of Emily's presence made my skin crawl. I sat at the kitchen table, fingers drumming against my empty glass, listening as she moved through my bedroom, shoving clothes into a suitcase. I imagined her hands shaking, her mind scrambling for some last-ditch effort to fix what was already destroyed. But there was nothing left to fix. I had given her an hour. She took 47 minutes. The sound of her dragging her suitcase down the stairs was almost satisfying. I did not turn around as she entered the room, standing just a few feet away, hesitating. She wanted me to look at her. I did not. Ryan, she said, her voice quieter now, smaller. I still did not look up. She swallowed. I know you probably do not care. But I never wanted this to happen. I laughed under my breath, shaking my head. Emily, you wanted it to happen every time you met up with him. Her breath hitched. Good. I finally looked up, meeting her bloodshot eyes. What do you want from me? Forgiveness. She hesitated, then shook her head quickly. No, I do not expect that. Good. I leaned back in my chair, because you're not getting it. Her lower lip trembled. I still love you. I smiled, slow and cold. No, you do not. Tears spilled down her cheeks. But I did not feel a damned thing. She had spent months breaking me down, piece by piece, lying with that same face, that same voice. And now that she was the one suffering, she wanted me to believe her. I was not that man anymore. I stood up, walked to the front door and opened it. She flinched, her body physically reacting to the finality of it. But she still did not move. Still waiting. Still hoping. I tilted my head. If Mark's not answering, maybe you can book a room at the same hotel. She winced like I had hit her. I did not care. Emily exhaled, shaking her head, gripping the handle of her suitcase so tight, her knuckles went white. Then finally, she stepped outside. I did not say anything. I did not wave. I just watched as she walked to her car, her shoulders shaking, her face red and ruined. She opened the door, hesitated and looked at me one last time. Goodbye, Ryan? She whispered. I did not respond. I just stepped back inside and shut the door in her face. The second the lock clicked into place, I let out a slow, deep breath and then silence. For the first time in a long time, the house felt peaceful. I was not angry anymore. I was not hurt. I was just free and it felt damn good.